Only a few short moments after putting down my pen, it was time to board my 8-hour flight to Dubai. Unlike Singapore, the layover was for 7 hours and at night, so exploring the city wasn't an option. That being said, I was fortunate enough to catch a glimpse of the Burj Khalifa from the window of my flight to Budapest, a flight in which I also had the entire row to myself. After touching down and collecting my bag, it took a bus, a train, and a tram to get into the center of the city. From there, it took another 2 hours of wandering around slightly lost to find the small sign that marked the location of my hostel, where I promptly got some much-needed sleep.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Budapest, the first stop in the next phase of my adventure. Now, you probably think I look a little different, and it turns out Budapest is slightly colder than South Africa, so I've addressed that issue. Now I'm going to head and check out some of the sites because I am leaving Budapest on Saturday, so I don't have long here. So I just had a very interesting experience. I tried to use the bathroom back there, and I walked in and there was like a little reception area, and the lady said it would be 180 florent. But it was just very curious, the fact that here I am in a bathroom and there's a little reception where they charge you money to use it. So after wandering the streets of Budapest, look who I ran into.
For those who don't know, that was Jane, a close friend of mine from university and a mathematical prodigy. With the sustenance of a very filling lunch, I continued my exploration of the city, this time with Jane as my tour guide. As the sun began its retreat, Jane insisted we make our way up to Fisherman's Bastion, where I was greeted with a breathtaking view across the city.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my second day in Budapest, which also happens to be my last day. On the recommendation of Jane, I'm checking out Hero Square, and I'm currently in the park that encompasses it.
In my search for Hero Square, I learnt that not every beautiful building in Europe is meant to be explored, when I accidentally went inside a hospital. A few minutes down the road, I stumbled into a castle, where I purchased some mulled wine in the hope of cleansing myself from the numerous diseases I had probably just acquired.
So I just had a small hiccup where I ran out of battery. Now, unlike that time at Stellenbosch, I really want to show you what's behind you right now. So I just went to a cafe and plugged in for 5 minutes. Anyway, without further ado, here we have Hero Square.
In the wee hours of the following morning, Jane and I set off to catch our train to Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. After a bit of running, we made it with seconds to spare, an experience Jane pinned on my "we're in no rush" attitude. Upon arriving in Zagreb, we immediately set off to uncover its many secrets. The most breathtaking sight for me was Mirogaj Cemetery, where locals were simultaneously visiting to leave flowers and candles for their loved ones in the lead up to All Saints' Day. To finish off our short stay, we climbed up a bell tower to watch the sunset, before hopping on a bus to Carinthia. In the morning, we boarded a shuttle from our hostel and headed out to see the famous Plitvice Lakes National Park. It didn't take long to understand how the park acquired its fame once my eyes fell upon the majesty of the waterfalls and the seemingly glass lakes. In fact, I was so taken aback that I didn't always watch my footing. On our way back to the shuttle, we noticed a sign that claimed to lead to bats. Despite not seeing any, we did manage to find another example of my inability to walk.
Oh, I'm good. Is the camera good?
You alright?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was recording.
The next day, I said goodbye to Jane and set off on a hike that made Table Mountain look like a walk in the park.
So today I'm here with Lara, who loves to be on film, as you can see, and we're going to be climbing this mountain up here, and I'll write the name because I'm not even going to bother pronouncing it. This is exhausting.
After battling uphill for around 4 hours, we finally reached the road encompassing the summit, where we had a small break for lunch. With our legs feeling like jelly, we started the final push for the summit, which involved crossing the border into Bosnia. Although I do enjoy hiking just for the view, there was another reason that made this mountain so appealing.
So we're just making our way up to the military compound that's abandoned now. As you can see, it's a lot colder on the Bosnia side. The cold winds are coming up here and freezing all the trees. Down there is Bosnia, and also the minefield, so we can't wander into the forest, unfortunately.
The first ruin we came across was the entrance to a tunnel system, and feeling brave, we ventured inside. To make things especially creepy, this took place on Halloween.
What?
Thankfully, we emerged intact and continued upward, where we continued to take in the phenomenal views and explored more of the ruins. At this point, Lara insisted she take a photo of me sitting on the chair. Let me just say it wasn't the most stable piece of furniture I've ever used, so the result didn't exactly match the candid image I had in mind. Noticing we didn't have much time to complete our descent, we decided to take a bit of a shortcut. Feeling the lingering effects of the hike, I let my legs recover for the day, before I took another bus to Zadar, a city on the south coast of Croatia. It is here I saw, or should I say heard, the sounds of the renowned sea organ. Prior to departing South Africa, my intention was to venture into Italy immediately after Croatia. Following some strong recommendations, I've decided to throw that idea out the window. Instead, I will be heading further along the Croatian coastline, through Albania, and eventually landing in Athens. Though I'm sure it won't be long before I stray from this plan as well.